A very good morning to all of you. In this session, we would understand 8 important things that you must know before you start your preparation for your UGC NET examination. So, in this section, we would focus on the important tips and the things you must remember. So, let's start with the session today. The first thing is the weightage. Now, the important thing to know about weightage is for paper 1 it is 1/3, for paper 2 that's your subject paper it is 2/3 weightage. Since percentile are now being counted towards your merit, it's really important that you focus on both the papers with equal importance. However, paper 1 has lesser weightage, so the total time, let's say you are studying 8 hours, so devote at least 2 hours to paper 1 and remaining 6 hours to your subject. But in any ways, you cannot leave either of the papers. That's the first thing that we would understand. The second important thing is the units. Now paper 2 and paper 1 both have 10 units. Let's assume you devote 10 days to each unit. So you require minimum 100 days, that is minimum 3 to 4 months of good preparation is required. So 100 days is around 3 months, 10 days and the remaining 20 days for solving the PYQs in each subject. So that should be the strategy. 4 months we say is an optimum time duration to complete your preparation for your NET examination. Now, what about the next net? You don't know when the next net is scheduled to be, so you should not go on that direction and focus on that rather. So it's really important that whatever you start with now, take it as a target 10 days to finish one unit. For some 10 days, if you feel that you have more coursework, more load, you can take easier units during that time, but adhere to the timeline that you decide and try to keep on to that. The next important thing is the weak areas. Identify of these 10 units, say these 3 units are my weak units, the remaining 7 units I am well at. So for those 7 units you can keep 7 days, but for these 3 units which you feel require more effort, try to put in more time and more duration for that in order to finish it timely and properly so that you don't commit mistakes in those sections. Another important thing is when you are going through the lectures, right? Lectures you can select by topic. So you select, let's say 20 lectures of one unit. So try to complete those 20 lectures in the duration of 10 days. Then pick the next unit and the lectures of the next unit and cover those in the set duration. Solve the related questions and read the text for that unit, and that would help you to perform well in your areas. The next important thing, the fourth important point is contemporary topics. So don't miss any news happenings in and around. These have been recently added to your curriculum, extremely important, highly relevant these days, because every time we have seen, be it your subject paper or your paper 1, there are at least 2 to 5 questions which are based on contemporary information and contemporary knowledge. So perform them well. There is a question from Boleshwar that I have completed my masters in B.Ed but also qualified NET in geography, whether I can go for school education or join PhD. Now, a very good question, Boleshwar. First of all, congratulations for qualifying your NET examination. Secondly, you can actually do both of these activities together and simultaneously, because what's really important is you understand that you can join as a teacher and join a part-time PhD program, or if you are joining a full-time PhD program, then you can for your course duration and the remaining period you can be associated with college lectureship. Now again, your priorities depend. If you are in an immediate need for job and want to earn at a very rapid pace, then definitely there is no option but to join a school at this point, or join teaching in any college as a contractual faculty. But even if you are joining college, PhD would be later on required. So In any case, you would have to do and pursue your PhD if you want to go into university curriculum. So either now or later you would have to decide. But if you want your career to remain to school education, then definitely yes, you can skip that idea of going for a PhD. If you have any other queries, just drop in the message. I'll take that forward as I proceed, right? So the next important point that we need to understand here is content. Extremely important. Go to the correct references, go through the correct books. Good references are really important. Don't just go on to compilations or the material that you have got from someone who has already qualified their notes, because everyone's notes are different and it's really difficult to comprehend someone else's notes because they would write only the topics in which they were finding difficulties, right? So don't just go blindly by others' notes. Prepare your own notes, prepare your own content. Good references, good books are important. Also, along with good references, I would say authentic content. A lot of content on internet these days is not authentic. So verify well, go through the content well, have confidence, and then go through the content and the details, right? The next important is updated. Understand that the content should not be outdated. It should be regularly updated content, and that's really required because the questions nowadays which are asked are highly content sensitive based on updated information. Let's say if you are having any question on census, it should not be like you have a question from 2001 census but the content is updated for 1991 census, right? So that means we say it should be updated. The next is, the sixth important point is, go through the PYQs very carefully. At least 10 sets of PYQs I would recommend. Now these 10 sets could be June and December last 5 years or last 10 years, every one slot you can go for. Either ways, cover at least 10 sets. That means 100 questions in your optional in one set. So 10 sets means at least 1000 questions in your subject should be practiced and at least 500 questions in paper 1 should be practiced. Now these are the minimum number of questions I am citing. The more you practice, better it is. So this is the sixth important point that you must go through. The seventh important point is, any new additions to the syllabus are really important. Now these new additions I am talking about 2019 updated versions that have been included in the syllabus. Now based on the 2019 editions in the syllabus, we have seen lots and lots of changes and updated questions which are asked. So prepare those well, practice those well, and with those you can definitely get in good marks, because those topics which have been added new to the syllabus are the topics most commonly asked in your examination with higher weightage and more number of questions, right? The last important point that we would discuss today is a very important thing, which is stay away from any kind of rumors. Focus on your content. Don't go here and there, what to do, how to do. I heard this is the time where exam would be held. I heard exam would be offline, online. Does not matter. Either things does not matter. The most important thing that matters is your command over the subject, your knowledge in the subject, your depth of understanding, and with that only you would be able to qualify and secure good marks in your examination. So those are some of the important things that we have discussed in this section. If you have any questions or queries, feel free to connect back, raise a query on the number that we have mentioned in the section, and definitely we'll be bringing in many important discussions where you can bring in your doubts. We can have important things that must be covered in the sessions, and the updated version for 2025 based on the 2024 August and September examination we have already included in the lecture series at doorstep. So go through those lectures carefully. Also, the expected series would be regularly brought before every examination. So stay tuned. Please subscribe. Thanks for joining in. Have a wonderful day ahead. Happy festivals.